Greetings fellow men, servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again, and today I wanna keep it brief. I just wanted to inform you guys who do not follow German news that on Sunday a vote among all the members of the Social Democratic Party has been counted. They were asked if they are in favor or against the coalition contract that Merkel's union parties and the Social Democratic Party have negotiated. The result was that 66% of the valid votes were in favor of yet another grand coalition with Angela Merkel as the chancellor. So if you have seen my previous videos on the topic, you can tell that I didn't really see this election or this asking of the party members of the SPD as a very big bar to a grand coalition. I always thought that this is kind of a formality where the SPD can show, oh look, we're so democratic, we ask our members directly, we practice true democracy. And once again, the reason that they want to enter a new coalition is not that they are so convinced of their program and that they think they have the right recipes to bring Germany forward. No, they actually want to be in the opposition where they can just promise people a pie in the sky and actually not have to deliver anything. That is the reason why 33% of all Social Democrats don't even want to rule Germany. No, the reason why they voted in favor of another grand coalition with Merkel's union parties is that they're really afraid of re-elections at the very moment now. Because if Germany would vote another parliament right now, they would actually have less than 20% of the votes, and the AfD would be probably the second strongest party after the union parties and before the Social Democrats. So that is what they're actually afraid of. So as I also had mentioned before, that would make the AfD the biggest opposition party in the German parliament, and that gives them certain rights and a very prominent spot in the parliament. Of course, the conservatives of Angela Merkel now say that the most pressing matter is to limit immigration to Germany. But we all know that the coalition contract speaks another language and that the Social Democrats would never allow to limit migration into Germany. What they will actually do is they will have immigration at an even increased rate. They will have less deportations, if that's even possible, and they will allow people to stay here for good way more often than this had been the case previously. We will also look, of course, at increased levels of censorship. At the same time, the German state media will have to lie even more or in more obvious ways in order to stabilize Angela Merkel's rule. In brief, we will see 3.5 years of pretty much the same policies that we had since 2015, while the people in Germany get more and more fed up and the pressure is rising. So our president, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, has already suggested Angela Merkel for the next chancellor, and on March 14th she will of course be elected by the German Bundestag to be the new old chancellor of Germany. Of course, this is not a surprise. This is why one of my previous videos was called Angela Merkel forms a new government, and the thumbnail was 4 more years. So many people thought that this vote among the members of the SPD would be much more close than it actually was, but nevertheless 33% who voted against this coalition is not a very small chunk. It is actually a sizable part of the party that is not even convinced of this coalition. They don't really want to be in power. They will have to be somehow integrated into the party and into the grand coalition now. And the dangerous thing is that this will happen by increasing our payments to France or to Mediterranean southern European states, increasing our welfare payments to single mothers and to non-deserving immigrants, and also, of course, to keep our borders open. This is how these 33% of tree-hugging socialists will be integrated into this new grand coalition. And all of that will just make things worse. Now, just a little note at the end, if anybody has still thought that conservative leader Horst Seehofer from evil conservative Bavaria would show some resistance here and actually pull back from the coalition talks or demand more conservative policies, then you have another thing coming. Yeah, Horst Seehofer and his Bavarian CSU are the biggest cucks that you can imagine. They just got bought off with another secretary. So they were given one more minister position in the new government, and that bought them off quite easily. So don't expect any conservative or reactionary impulses from Horst Seehofer and his Bavarian band of conservatives. So that little report was just for completeness sake. I think what's going on in Italy is much more interesting right now. And Switzerland decided also on Sunday to keep their publicly funded broadcasting, their version of the state media, so to speak. Now, you could consider this a warning shot, and one of the effects, as far as I found out, was that they already decreased their funds. They will have to save more money, and their budgets were cut as a consequence. So for the time being, they can take money from the citizens, but maybe one should really see that as a warning shot that the state media of the European countries, or the public broadcasting services as they refer to themselves, are not safe forever, and that the citizens are getting fed up. I doubt that the German state media will take any valuable lessons from that. I think they will just amp up the vitriol and the fake news even more. And who knows, the AfD already advocates for the abolition of the state media and the radio tax that they take from every German household. So maybe we will actually have a real initiative to stop that radio tax, just like they had in Switzerland now, very soon. Maybe this would be a very good project for the next years that the AfD as an opposition party could undertake. That's it. Enjoy the rest of your week. Servus, Kameraden.